Okie dokie YouTubers, this is your guy once again, Mr. Evaluator. So what we're going to be watching today is Mortal Kombat 2021. Um, and what I'm going to really be doing, I just got done watching this movie and this movie was very terrible. Okay, and I'm just going to be playing through the video. So I'm going to point out what made this entire movie flawed. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that motion picture.
First learned about this 7 years ago on a mission in Brazil to capture a wanted fugitive. When we got there, it tore through our unit in seconds.
Okay, so of course you basically see the problem with this video. This is pretty much Bihan, who is pretty much well, in this scenario, he's now Sub-Zero, okay, with the ice power and whatnot. And now he's dressed in an all black suit, which basically refers Noob Saibot, but in this case, he doesn't actually become an all black or Noob Saibot until he's actually pretty much killed by Scorpion. And after Scorpion killed Sub-Zero's brother in the tournament of Mortal Kombat, his soul was resurrected out of darkness and under what's his name, Quan Chi's control. So in actuality, you know, he then became Noob Saibot, power of darkness, who basically had the power of darkness and shade or whatnot. So I'm just gonna continue on with this. So this kind of really what basically threw it all off. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. And for all you MK fans out there that really did not understand this movie, Sub-Zero in this costume was one of the worst problems. This was one of the main situations that basically took the movie and threw it off. So it's almost like that the producer sat down and just actually wrote whatever he came to mind, what looked good and what made sense, and actually threw that in the movie. So we're gonna continue hitting the play button after this one.
The target has superhuman abilities. It had the same marking you do, Cole.
Okay, so this thing, right? We've pretty much known in the previous Mortal Kombat that they had the you know, the markings of pretty much being the chosen one. Well, that's pretty much how the history worked, because what it is like in Mortal Kombat, one of the greatest warriors on out of each realm comes and fight and challenges in Mortal Kombat. So it's almost like, you know, you got 5 people from Earth is going to fight 5 of the strongest people from, you know, the Stephen King universe. And, you know, whoever beats who, that's the universe that pretty much gets spared. So it's pretty much like a, you know, yeah, it's pretty much like a martial arts thing, you know what the Chinese and Japanese used to do back in the day. You know, if they come upon a different ideology or different dialogue, pretty much like the Native Indian tribes, they basically fight for it. So, you know, not like they, oh, I want that plasma screen TV out of your house, let's fight for it. No, what it is that these different, you know, tribes of people basically had a different analogy, different dialogues, you know, different philosophies about life. And so, you know, to settle their argument, they fight about it, you know, and whoever beats who, that's the superior person. And this is what they used to do in ancient times. But this mark is basically the start of everything. The situation with the Akana having superhuman abilities, none of that really makes sense. Mortal Kombat has nothing to do with being superhuman, okay? We already know that we're dealing with superhuman, but we don't have to just define that, oh, these people have the marks on them, and these marks is pretty much the chosen people. And Cole Young had this, but Sonya Blade didn't have the mark. But after she discovered her freaking arcana, the mark came upon her body. So what really doesn't make any sense about this is that when she finally unlocked her freaking arcana with Melina, she blasts Melina through the stomach, and her arcana just came about, and then she got the dragon symbol, which means in the very beginning, Raiden said out of his own mouth when they went at his temple that Sonya Blade was not the chosen one. So she couldn't train and she couldn't fight to get ready for the great tournament, which was stupid in the first place. So, like other YouTubers said, these producers literally sat down at the table, wrote this movie together, and did not mind to keep nothing serious. They literally didn't take anything serious. They just got a bunch of people, wrote a story and just told them to act along with the story. This is the same problem what we have with the Warner Brothers. And just to let fans out there know that Ed Boon had nothing to do with this film. Okay? Ed Boon had nothing to do with this film. So I'm not gonna I really and there's some other stuff that I'm gonna point out. You got the situation with Scorpion and the bloodline, but I'm gonna continue on and go because I don't want to talk ahead of myself, because this is unbelievable.
Birthmark?
What do you mean?
He was born with it.
It's not a birthmark, Cole. It means you've been chosen.
Throughout history, different cultures all over the world.
Okay, so another situation we pretty much have with the background of each realm, pretty much like Outworld, Planet Earth. They have a lot of coloring in the black background, as one of the other YouTubers stated. Because if you go to Edenia, everything in Edenia is purple. You see what I'm saying? You got a purple sky. I'm just saying, you got a purple sky, that basically illuminates its lights around the entire realm, that basically identifies the atmosphere, the biosphere. Everything in this realm is different, okay? But pretty much all these other realms, I'll just say that this is Earth. Earth basically illuminates the blue lighting, and this blue lighting shines all across the world. Now, I wanted to stop where the Melina was, but if I can get to it as quick as possible, I'm gonna, talk about the situation with Melina. But yeah, each background is supposed to illuminate a color of its own kind, identify to the fans that these people are not fighting in the same realm, okay? Each realm, let people know that these people are in different worlds or in different realms. They're not in Earth realm. So, to let the people know that this is a whole new planet, okay? So, other than making Outworld look like the desert, it doesn't even seem like Outworld. It just pretty much looks like another part of the planet. You see what I'm saying? And it really doesn't make any sense. And Outworld is supposed to be dark. It's supposed to be scary. And, like it always has. And they made nothing looking like that. In the 1999 Mortal Kombat, which Ed Boon had full control over, when Johnny Cage, right, with Reptile and stuff, when Johnny Cage and Liu Kang waited Outworld, what did you guys see in Outworld? It was dark, it was cloudy, and it was lightning everywhere. Oh my freaking goodness, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So it basically goes to show you that the producers and the people that basically put this movie together did not give a crap about this film. They just put it together to see what people might say about it. So, not only again, more DC, Warner Brothers has destroyed the entire DC extended universe with bad actors, bad storyline, bad plotting. They also had intentions to destroy the Mortal Kombat universe. And this is what it means. And this is what it means to just say, give up, throw all your stinking DC, the new 52 comics in the trash, throw all of your your toys of Mortal Kombat, videos of the Mortal Kombat in its new universe, throw it in the trash and cross over to Marvel. I mean, because this right here is up to the point to where it's getting so ridiculous, it's just pointless to continue watching it and see what it's going to come out in the end. I mean, it's just pointless. I mean, it's probably going to get even worse than this. So this what really kind of makes me want to pack my bags, take my stuff, and just throw it away, and just try to and just be a big fan of freaking Marvel, because this right here doesn't cut it. Okay, let's continue on to the video.
Reference a great tournament of champions. A dragon marking.
Okay, let me.
I think it's.
Okay, so we finally made it to Scorpion. Okay, so in this situation, we have where Scorpion is. Oh my gosh. Well, we have Scorpion as Hanzo Hasashi. Now, for those of you who don't know, okay, supposedly, Scorpion and Hanzo Hasashi is really supposed to be two people. They're literally supposed to be two people. Okay, and to kind of like literally make it not like second, he's not a second person, kind of puts the whole, movie out of concept, you know. And I mean, like in the first 1999 version of when Ed Boon made Mortal Kombat, Scorpion was not. It didn't matter if he was an Asian. It didn't matter if he was a Chinese guy. What mattered was that Scorpion Hanzo Hasashi died and he became Scorpion. And, the thing about that is that, Scorpion, the purpose of Scorpion having white eyes is to basically identify to his opponents that he's already dead. Okay? He's literally already dead. So, I was playing a game in Mortal Kombat when, we put Sub-Zero up against Scorpion. Hanzo Hasashi, confronted Sub-Zero, and then Sub-Zero had a little dialogue and say, "Ho, so you're not Scorpion?" He says, "No, but I've mastered all of his moves." So who knows? He probably could have been talking in third person. But from the looks of it, it clearly, like, according to the MKU, after Hanzo Hasashi died, him becoming Scorpion, he took on a whole new personality, a whole new form of fighting, and and basically a whole new physical form, period. And so instead of him actually shooting the chains out of his instead of shooting the chains from wherever he's getting in the 1999 version, a lot of people thought that when they were playing the Mortal Kombat games, a lot of people thought that they were snakes. So Ed Boon went with that assumption. He's a real good guy. So this Scorpion was pretty much more demonic. Well, that Scorpion from the 1999 Mortal Kombat film was more demonic than this Scorpion in this universe. So, basically that Scorpion, identified that he was already dead. He showed you the teleportation. He showed you, all of the stuff Scorpion was pretty much doing. The freaking snakes, all of that. Including my favorite, the backflip kick. So this here was just a complete destruction of Scorpion's entire character. I mean, I know that they were talking about, okay, we're gonna have to show Hanzo Hasashi as Scorpion. Could you at least, for crying out loud, bring him back with white eyes after he died? And like when he did die, the fire basically burnt his body up and possibly took him to the nether realm, but it never told you why and what happened or what made him become the Scorpion. Because as far as I'm concerned, he became a spirit of vengeance in the nether realm. Okay, and he literally took on every demon in the nether realm, and literally doing this, like, Quan Chi gave him the power. He had to deal with Quan Chi and blah, 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 blah. And Quan Chi literally amped his powers and made him become the actual Scorpion. So, like, as I've been paying attention to the video game, every time you pretty much kill Scorpion, he comes back as, I could be wrong, but I'm just gonna say, like, when I play the video game, it's almost like when you kill Scorpion, he comes back as Hanzo Hasashi. And when you take out Hanzo Hasashi, he comes back at like as Scorpion. So disregard what the video game says, disregard what we pretty much read in the comics, because I know I've read in one of the other Mortal Kombat comics, Scorpion does talk about his past life. He does talk about who he was before he was Hanzo Hasashi. So when he pretty much became this demon or this specter that have all of this immeasurable power, like, it literally makes him seem like he's a total different character. And so I want to go ahead and put that the reason why they actually had Sub-Zero literally tell Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat when him and when Sub-Zero and Hanzo Hasashi was having dialogue in a verse battle, he literally said, "So you're not coming back as Scorpion," and Scorpion literally said, "I have mastered all of his abilities." So what he was literally saying was that I've mastered the abilities of Scorpion. So when he literally became the Scorpion, like, he's taken on all kinds of different forms of fighting, new moves, new speed. I mean, a lot of other stuff. So yeah, I guess that's why it kind of made Scorpion a whole new character. It makes it seem like that so no, he's not, he's the same person. So, he has a lot of memory as Hanzo Hasashi's, but him being Scorpion, like, I mean, he could do whatever he wants. But in this scenario, for this movie, put a pin in that one. In this movie, Scorpion came back with bright, fiery eyes, and he did not come back with white eyes. That clearly lets you know that this guy was dead. So it took a freaking gardening tool his wife used, which was basically his blood on it. Raiden somehow got it and given it to, Cole Young. And for those of you who don't know who Cole Young is Cobra from Mortal Kombat Armageddon. He's the further bloodline down the line of the Shiryu clan. And like Cobra was the guy with those nightsticks, and those nightsticks, he was a bad boy with those nightsticks. This was in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Yeah, so yeah, Cobra, well, I think they called him King Cobra, but I'll just say Cobra. He was in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, so that's why they threw him in the case. I really think that Liu Kang should have been the start of this, and they should have used Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage instead of jumping over the Jax. But this was one of the biggest problems. Let's go move on, because I don't want to sit here and talk too long, and all the guys are like, hurry up and get to the end of the video. Okay, so we're just gonna hurry up and hit play.
It's an invitation to fight for something known. As Mortal Kombat.
These are your champions.
I'm Sonya. That's Kano.
I'm Liu Kang. Name's Jax. Kung Lao.
Okie dokie. Now, the problem that I have with this Raiden, okay, I mean, especially with what's going on today, a lot of producers really concerned about, having a white Raiden, okay? So they kind of really jump to the other side of the boat and say, okay, we're going to have to give Asian Raiden. But disregard what they were going to basically use. Like, I mean, me personally, I just prefer it for them to actually stick with the white Raiden. I mean, because it really doesn't even matter up to this point, because, like, as far in the video game, like, you know what, and see, it's not even about that. Even after the incident, what's going on with the accusations of white supremacies and stuff, they released the Mortal Kombat, right? In Mortal Kombat 11, you can literally see that Raiden is a Caucasian guy. He's not Asian, okay? In the video game. In Mortal Kombat 11, the video game, you can clearly see that Raiden is white. So if this was going to be a big issue in a movie, it should have been a big issue when they played the video game. Actually, he was even white in Mortal Kombat X. He was even white and the other Mortal Kombat. Well, I'll just say Mortal Kombat 9 and the other Mortal Kombat. So, I mean, this really goes to show you that these guys that made the movie, Ed Boon, had no control over this movie, and he had nothing to do with this movie. This literally basically threw the entire film away because of what they personally felt like was going to be attack against them. And the thing about this, okay, it's not only just the Asian rating, which is one of the main big issues, but the main issue with this was the actual trait of the character. He literally said several times that he could not intervene in Mortal Kombat, right? When the match actually began, he can't interfere, but he was able to pretty much, well, like he always do, he was still able to shield off and keep Shang Tsung from going into magic and everything else because he's an elder god and his job is to protect Earth Realm. But the thing about Kung Lao and Liu Kang, they did not have no main plot of the real story. None whatsoever. The big people that only was in the story was Cole Young, who was Cobra, Sonya Blade, Jax, and Kano, which really doesn't literally make no sense. I don't even know why they giving Rico or anybody else. I mean, it just really doesn't make any sense because, again, they just found a bunch of people, put them all together, and threw them on a doggone script and say, "Hey, we got a movie," and it really doesn't make no sense. And plus, like with the ice that Sub-Zero was literally shooting, Sub-Zero is a lot stronger than what you actually think he is. He could like basically freeze an entire city. He could basically freeze an entire city if he wanted to. So like this was the whole purpose, and I'm gonna be basically scaling the power in Mortal Kombat. The purpose of Mortal Kombat is literally to surpass your limits. But this bull crap about unlocking your special power to fight other superhumans and use your arcana, it doesn't make no sense whatsoever. I mean, like, it really doesn't make no sense whatsoever. Why would you literally bring people in a battle, okay, and tell them that if they don't unlock their arcana, they're not going to be able to they're not going to be able to beat anybody, okay? First of all, Jax does not have no arcana, okay? Like, he really doesn't have no arcana. They gave him those metal arms, like in the 1999 version of Mortal Kombat. He got those metal arms because of something happened. I forgot. Something happened to him and they gave him the metal arms. Right after that, he started fighting Mutaru, who was the guy, the horse guy. And right now, when he was getting beat up, he finally took off his arms and fought the guy with his physical strength. So in actuality, he already had his arcana. Well, not no arcana. He already was using his superhuman strength. So in this case of scenario, this arcana should play no part in Mortal Kombat. But once Sonya Blade unlocked her arcana, she became the chosen one, which was stupid. Which was so stupid. That means that since she had a symbol, like about her arcana, since she became the chosen one, she shouldn't have became the chosen one and didn't have no power from the beginning, because it literally showed you in any other Mortal Kombat that Sonya Blade had some sort of a device to basically shoot some laser beams through there. I mean, I don't know what these guys talking about. They just put these movies together, brought the characters together, and just shattered the entire movie. They just took Bob Ross painting, right? His beautiful painting. Okay, Ed Boon is Bob Ross. So he just perfectly made a Mortal Kombat 1998 and 1999 movie, and they took his painting and took a bunch of black paint and just splattered it. It just literally shattered it. Like after Christopher Nolan specifically made a Dark Knight trilogy that was up to perfection, Zack Snyder and the rest of his big team members came behind and made an extended a DCEU and just punched freaking Christopher Nolan in the face with their garbage. And that was a disgrace. That's what shattered the entire DCU. And all Marvel could do is just point fingers and laugh at us and see how stupid we are. Because we literally think that we can keep up with everybody. Mortal Kombat could literally be the biggest upcome for DC if they made this right. So if they would have ever did a live action film, Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, like they did it in a freaking video game, like they beat Marvel. But no, they don't think like that. They only think from themselves and their own minds, which is pretty stupid, by the way. So let's go ahead and hit the play button.
Fate of Earth is in our hands.
No matter how many of my people we put in the ground.
Okay, and in this situation, like I told you about Kung Lao, um, Kung Lao is a very excellent fighter, but the way his character showed up was like, oh, because he's a special character, he's gonna show up in this scene, so that's what makes him an important protagonist. Only him and Liu Kang had to train the chosen people, so-called chosen people, to unlock their arcana so that they can fight other superhumans, which was stupid, by the way. Like, this was literally stupid. Like, and it doesn't make no sense whatsoever. I mean, this is the problem we have in this version of Mortal Kombat. And like, this was one of the other reasons that shattered it. It's plenty of reasons why this movie is garbage and trash. And like the 1998, 1999 version of Mortal Kombat is so much better. But this is the perfect reason why you have producers, you have executives, and you have people that basically overlook the work of these producers and these actors so that they can make sure that this stuff is perfectionate. But because this is a Mortal Kombat movie and because this is a video game movie, pretty much like Monster Hunter, we don't care. We're just going to make it because that's what it is. This is supposed to be Mortal Kombat. And being Mortal Kombat is supposed to have the main protagonist, not these new people. I mean, Johnny Cage should have been the start of this movie. He, Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, Jax, these guys should have been the start of the movie before they introduced anybody else. And this what doesn't make any sense. Scorpion's family took, okay, Earthrealm wise, Scorpion's family has been murdered, according to this year, was murdered in the 1600s. So, Bihan, right? I'll just say that Bihan was on Earthrealm, right? So, Bihan has literally murdered Scorpion's family in 1687, which that'll make Cobra his ancestor. So, in actuality, Scorpion, and it's almost like Scorpion and Sub-Zero can live for periods of time, long periods of time. Like, I mean, like in 1600s, what year this is in a movie? Is this 1998? Is this 2011? Is this 2012? They never, well, they probably did specify what year it was, but who knows? I didn't pay attention because the movie was so bad. I didn't pay attention to what year and what time and place it's actually taking place. So this was another problem in a movie. They probably did show up, but I wasn't paying attention. This is what happens when a movie gets so bad, people don't actually pay any attention to the period or the time that it's taking place. So that was one of the other terrible things about this movie. Let's keep playing. And finally, a Black Melina. Before you guys get up and jump out the window and say, hey, you're being racist, let me tell you something. Melina was made from Shang Tsung. Okay? Shang Tsung created Melina from Kitana's DNA, right? And see, this is the problem about having a Black Melina. That means when, since Shang Tsung created Kitana, well, Melina from Kitana's DNA, Kitana, that means Kitana has to be biracial, or Kitana was black. And Sindel was the mother of Kitana. So Sindel has to be black or biracial. You see what I'm saying? And that means that King Jared has to be either black or white. He has to either be black or white. Do you see how this connects? If we have a Black Melina, that means who was pretty much made in the Mortal Kombat story, who was made from Kitana's DNA. They never said this in the movie. They didn't say nothing about this. A Black Melina just showed up randomly. Didn't have no history. Didn't say anything about it. But according to the video game, Shang Tsung basically created a daughter for Shao Kahn. Melina was supposed to be Shao Kahn's daughter, so he took Kitana's DNA and Takada DNA and literally created Melina. Okay, literally created Melina out of those two DNAs. So that means Kitana has to be black or white, and Sindel, who is her mother, has to be black or white or biracial, or Kitana could be biracial, or Jared, who is also the father of Kitana, could be black, white, or biracial. And so this is the big problem that we pretty much have in the Mortal Kombat universe. So if you got a black Melina, you're either gonna see a black Kitana or biracial Kitana, or I mean, you ain't gonna see no white Kitana. She's either gonna be black or biracial. Sindel's gonna be either black or biracial. What's her name? King Jared is gonna be black or biracial. But if he be biracial and birth Kitana, yep, just like it is, black or biracial. And see, this is the problem in the Mortal Kombat universe. So in this scenario, Melina is clearly an unimportant character, pretty much like anybody else. This is why you have fans that says that why didn't you give a white Jax? If it was a white Jax, it would have been a big old backlash. Okay? So it don't have anything to do with what's going on in this world about white supremacy. It's sticking to the freaking storyline. And do you know how much effect having a black Melina goes all the way back? This has so much effect to Kitana's history. It has a lot of effect to Kitana's history. So you may wonder, Mr. Evaluator, is there a problem with a black Melina? Yes, there is a problem with a black Melina. That means Kitana's gonna be either biracial or she's gonna be black. And if that's the case, either Sindel's gonna be black or she's gonna be biracial. Okay? So you may wonder, Miss Evaluator, well, what's the problem with that? Well, the problem is it's the change of the actual story. If you will give me a black Jax, okay, if you give me a black Jax or in a white Sonya Blade and a white Kano, Kano should have been black, or black Kano, then you may as well stick to the story. So this literally goes to show you that the producers literally wanted to stick to the story, right? But they decided to make some changes. So they made some changes with Raiden. They made some changes with Melina and a couple of other people. And even General Rico wasn't more like a general. He was like, I didn't know Will Ferrell was a General Rico, but General Rico pretty much seemed like, oh, he was just a big bad guy with no story introductory. So clearly every bit of these characters that was in the movie was literally underdeveloped. Even especially Shang Tsung. Okay? Especially Shang Tsung. So it really doesn't make any sense that they actually did this. That they actually literally did this. So having a black Melina like literally tears the entire story apart. If they show a white Jade, there's gonna literally be a problem with that as well. I mean, it's just right now it just leaves you confused. You don't know what they're doing. This is their concept. Warner Brothers want to do their own thing. They don't want to stick to the story, but they give you a black Jax, but he's not going to be white. They definitely don't want to give the Asian Jax because it's going out of the concept. So in this scenario, they looked at Melina being a very unimportant character. And need to think in mind that Shang Tsung was the one that created Melina from Kitana's DNA and from Tarkatan DNA. I mean, like, what the heck? And that means Sindel is one of the greatest Mortal Kombat characters ever. Okay, and everybody know that she's white. I mean, like, come on. But if there's a biracial Sindel, I mean, it's really gonna tear everything apart. And only narrow-minded people would say, "Oh, you get it mad because they got you don't like different races of people, so that means you're racist." No, you're not racist. It's just like they did a Black Ariel movie. I don't care about a black mermaid. I love black mermaids, but they're gonna give a black girl the role to be Ariel. Okay, like that doesn't make no sense whatsoever. So that means Disney is just jumping under the board, showing the favoritism to the big old community and the people that basically progress the situation with Black Lives Matter, Black Power, Black Power. If anything, I'm just going to be silent right there. But getting back to the main point, having a Black Melina basically changes the whole concept in the story of the Mortal Kombat universe. Like, it literally does. Like, if you'll give us a Black Jax, but give us a Black Melina, that means Kitana's going to be black or biracial, or Sindel's going to be black or biracial, or their dad, her dad, King Jarrett is going to be black or biracial. And we've known for ages, for years, that King Jarrett was white. Okay, and you mean to tell me he's gonna have a biracial daughter? I guess they're gonna make King Jared black and or Sindel white or either one. I don't know what's going on, but they gave a black Melina because Melina was unimportant, you know, and they looked at her just being the main character and didn't pay any attention to how serious her plot basically connects to Mortal Kombat. In actuality, because Kitana no longer wanted to obey Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung took her DNA and Takata DNA and gave Shao Kahn a new daughter. You know, since Kitana no longer wanted to rule by Shao Kahn, he had Shang Tsung create a daughter, which Melina. So whether they know it or not, Melina plays a big part of the story in Mortal Kombat. So does Kung Lao, so does Liu Kang, so does Kano with the Black Dragon clan and the merchandise throughout the black market, Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, and they just basically ricochet this entire film. And it really doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. So these are not my thoughts, these are facts. These are literal facts with this film. This whole film was just pushed together just to please a group of people, okay? Just to please a group of people. And I mean, it's kind of funny that when they did that situation with the Asians, they said, okay, let's give us a Asian rating. I mean, like, this is the very first time, and like, it really doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I'm gonna press play all the way through.
You're not fair. Kill them.
And that was a terrible move with Liu Kang. Usually you'll see Liu Kang turn into the dragon, and like in the 1999 version, Liu Kang turned into a dragon and ate his opponent and literally killed his opponent. And like, so now he summons a fireball so powerful it creates a dragon, and the dragon just basically slays that person, which is really stupid, by the way. I mean, like, they're taking so much out of this movie, and Goro himself pretty looks amazing. I like this version of Goro. Goro is pretty awesome. You know, it's pretty amazing. But you know, like this is another problem. Um, there should have been a lot a lot more destruction in this video. There should have been a lot more buildings being broken into, like giant rocks, people falling through rocks. This should have been a devastating war. This should have been devastation. Mortal Kombat Rebirth is better than this movie. Okay? Mortal Kombat Rebirth is better than this movie. And as big as Goro is literally supposed to be like jumping on top of the trucks, smashing the trucks, breaking the trucks in half. It's supposed to be a Hawk and Abomination fight. And like freaking what's his name? Cobra's supposed to be strong enough to get thrown against the truck, and he's supposed to be able to pick up, you know, like 1,000-pound rock, or you know, 100, 200-pound rock, and being able to throw it at ease with Goro, and you know, having the strength he has, he's supposed to even be strong enough with that shield and armor on his body to literally break, okay, to literally break that 1,000-pound rock in a million pieces. But these producers don't care. They just put the whole video together so it can look good and literally make people be amused when they really didn't. This whole movie flopped. Okay, Wonder Woman 1984 was a very stupid and disgusting movie, but this entire film, Wonder Woman 1984, had more compact to their story than this. Even though it was kind of rushed and lollygagged all the way through about a wishing thing, that movie had more meaning than this piece of crap movie right here. Okay, so we're gonna continue on. And like I told you about Sub Zero, I mean, Sub Zero could take little specks of ice and throw it at you. No, Sub Zero is way stronger than that, right? When you basically look, that like Sub Zero could step outside and he could freeze the entire neighborhood, right? This is why I was talking about power scaling. As far as you concerned, like Mortal Kombat has confirmed that Sub Zero uses the chi that flows inside him that basically allows him to freeze things, and that's pretty much anybody in the Lin Kuei. But the more he basically train and stretch his powers, the more ice he could pretty much unleash. But I kind of want to, like that warehouse. Scorpion was literally, Sub Zero was fighting Jax. How did you think that snow got there? Sub Zero froze that entire, okay? He froze that entire place. Okay? That's what Sub Zero did. And when there was a fight, there should have been a lot of people getting punched through roofs, people getting thrown through walls. There should have been a lot more fighting, bro. And there should have been a lot more characters in here that should have made a perfect Mortal Kombat. Instead, they got 6 people versus 6 people, and that was the end of the story, which was pretty stupid, by the way. Okay? So, Zack Snyder extended version of Justice League was garbage. But compared to this movie, like this movie's worse. Okay? I would choose Zack Snyder extended version of the Justice League over this garbage. That 4-hour film of nothingness over this garbage. Okay? So in actuality, Scorpion Sub Zero can come out and he could freeze an entire neighborhood. Okay, he could freeze an entire neighborhood if he wanted to with a big old ball of ice. He could just step down and that ice will move like 60 miles an hour or 70 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour. Like Sub Zero has like the way he basically used his ice when he was battling in the street, he should have been able to freeze that whole neighborhood and turn everything in ice. But if he would have did that, he would have messed up the plot of the movie and they wouldn't have got where they were going. Okay, that's the whole point. Like that shows you right there the movie was terrible. It was literally terrible and they did that to make it look like that because it was garbage. Okay, so Sub Zero didn't die. He should have been Noob Saibot in this movie and was able to put nothing but darkness everywhere. But this was pretty much garbage. Like, and another thing, freaking Liu Kang shoot a fireball at Kano. Kano get electrocuted to death by Raiden's lightning. Let's just say Raiden slowed, hit him with the smallest bolt of electricity. It shocked his body so bad it could have just left him in some serious condition, but Kano got up like it was nothing. Maybe Kano might be stronger to take certain amounts of volts in his body, but I'm gonna be scaling the power, the strength, and the feet of the entire MKU. But yeah, this movie was garbage. It was trash, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay.
Sub-Zero.
Oh, like I'm saying, Scorpion having white eyes. Scorpion, can literally teleport from one side to another. And like I said, that when Scorpion did the get over here, Hanzo Hasashi should never said get over here. Scorpion, Ed Boon was the guy that voices over the get over here sound. And I think that they were just trying to make it seem as realistic to actually have the actor say get over here instead of doing a voiceover to literally make it look more real and more cinematic. but they didn't do nothing but basically disgrace this whole movie and just shattered it into a big old bubble, and like it's almost like they did that. Honestly, they did not care a single crap about, ouch, the single crap about the movie. Okay, like had no care at all. So, so this was the whole purpose of it, and I mean, like, it was really garbage, you know. So yeah, I'd really prefer to actually hear Ed Boon say "Get over here," being the voiceover of Scorpion, and that would have made it more realistic and more based on the video game. But they found their own version of making it be real, which basically deferred from the video game, which makes the people spend years playing the video game, not actually hearing the same voice they hear in the video game of Scorpion saying "Get over here," with somebody else actually voicing the "Get over here" sound of Scorpion and not actually from what they heard in the video game, which makes the big fans of Mortal Kombat to no longer play Mortal Kombat the game or watch any of its stupid movies, but actually going back to 1998 and 1999, which gives them a very strong perception of next time you see Warner Brothers say they're going to make a Mortal Kombat film or any other film, don't watch it. Let's go out and do our own thing. Okay, so let's keep hitting the play button.
Get over here!
That was the worst and most terrible "Get over here" sound I've ever heard in history. That alone, I didn't even get a chance to see this full trailer, but when I heard that in the movie, that was the worst and most sickest and terrible voiceover for Scorpion in the history of Mortal Kombat. This movie one that makes me slam it on the ground and no longer watch it ever again. This is how I feel as a big fan of Mortal Kombat. And for those of you out there who literally say, "Oh, I don't find a problem with it. I like watching video games movie. This was the best movie ever made in the history of Mortal Kombat." Well, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, you can go ahead and sit back, relax, and pop you in a Dragon Ball Evolution Z movie and watch that all the way through and enjoy that. If you think that this movie was the best movie ever that was ever made in Mortal Kombat history. So, if you guys have any other questions about, this was the only movie I basically went over. So if you guys have any questions or any comments, leave it below. But I really am gonna be doing a little power scale with the entire MKU. So just leave a like and just subscribe, like, or hit me up, whatever. Because again, this is just what I'm putting on here because I can't stand Mortal Kombat. This version of Mortal Kombat. This movie was a total disgrace. So if you have any questions or comments, hit me up, and we can go from there. Peace.